explain the primary method for capitalizing corporations. Number 4. I will characterize the corporate entities on the basis of how the income is taxed and understand the concept of pure through taxations. Number 6, we will discuss the fundamental structures and the laws for officers, directors, and shareholders. Number 6, we will discuss the major fiduciary duties that is owed by insiders of a corporation to its shareholders and give examples of each duty: duty of care, duty of loyalty. Fiduciary duty consists of duty of care, duty of loyalty. Number 7, the concept of a business judgment rule. We will apply this business judgment rule to an alleged breach of fiduciary duty by the insider of corporations. Number 8, we will distinguish the difference between shareholder deliberative actions and direct actions. Number 9, we will identify the circumstances under which a court will pierce the corporate veil and explain the impact of this corporate veil doctrine. Chapter review. This chapter continues the unit's coverage of business entities by examining the laws that govern the formation of corporations, structure of the corporation, governs the operation of corporations. This chapter also identifies the personal liability of principles for corporate liabilities and debt. This chapter also covers how corporations are formed, how corporations are capitalized, how the corporations are structured. Finally, this chapter focuses on the duties of corporate managers, duties of corporate officers, and duties of corporate directors to the owners, to the shareholders. Corporation is defined as a fictitious legal entity. Fictitious legal entity that existed. Fictitious legal entity is existing as an independent legal person that is separated from its principles. Okay? Corporation is a fictitious legal entity that exists as an independent legal person separate from its principle. Okay? That is the definition of corporations. Categories of corporations: privately held corporation and publicly held corporation. There are two major categories of corporations. One is a privately held corporation. The other is a public held corporations. The most common category is a privately held corporations. Privately held corporations are corporations that do not sell ownership interest, such as the common stock, that do not sell common stock through the sale by a broker to the general public or to financial institutions, or cannot sell the common stock to the investors. That is the privately held corporation. When a privately held corporation wanted to borrow the money, wanted to fund capitalization through the sale of ownership interest, through the sale of common stock to the general public and commercial investors. In that cases, the principles of corporation pursue an initial public offering, and then next step, principals continue their corporate existence from a private held corporation to the publicly held corporations. Another category of corporation is a domestic corporation. Domestic corporation is a corporation that is formed or that is incorporated in the state in which the corporation is doing the business. That is a domestic corporation. Foreign corporation. A corporation that doing a business in a state other than its state of incorporation is known as a foreign corporation in other state. Alien corporations. Alien corporation is a corporation that is formed, that is incorporated outside the United States, incorporate in the foreign country, but doing a business in the United States is referred to as an alien corporation. Non-profit corporations. Non-profit corporations are corporations with no profit-seeking owners. There is no profit-seeking shareholders in non-profit corporations, but non-profit corporation is existed to perform some public services to the public at large. That is a non-profit corporation. Example of non-profit corporation includes the religious organizations such as the church, temples, or charitable organizations, or political organizations, or educational institutions. College and universities are the example of non-profit organizations or non-profit corporations. public corporations. Public corporations are corporations that is formed, incorporated by a governmental body in order to serve the public at large, such as public mass transit, subway, transportation, or utility, gas and power. Professional corporations. Professional corporations are corporations where the ownership is restricted to a particular professional license in the field. Example of professional corporations includes the CPA firms, legal firms, medical doctors firms, real estate firms, accounting firms, financial brokers firms are the example of professional corporations. Formation of corporations. How to form the corporation in the state. A corporation has the most formal filing and reporting requirements. Normally, the promoter files the articles of incorporations, files the article of incorporation with the state authority, Secretary of State. Upon the approval by the Secretary of State, the corporation is legally recognized as a business entity. The article of incorporation document must include the corporation's name, corporation's purposes, number of shares that will be issued to the public, and the address of the corporation's headquarters must include in the articles of incorporations. Pre-incorporation activities. Pre-incorporation activity includes the liability of initial promoters. Such pre-incorporation activities includes the arranging for necessary capital, funding the necessary capital through a loan, through borrowing of money from the bank, recruiting the personnel, recruiting the corporation officers, leasing of property, and arranging to have the business incorporated are the example of pre-incorporation activities of promoters. The individual who performs these pre-incorporation activities is known as a promoter. If the promoter makes a contract on behalf of not yet formed corporations, in that cases, the promoters may have some degree of personnel liability to perform under the contract. The choices of state or incorporations. Despite some significant advantages for large public health corporation, a big advantage may be gained by incorporating in Delaware state, because only Delaware state do not have corporation taxes. Okay? Delaware corporation need not to pay the business tax to the state. However, all state has a business corporation taxes. For example, if you operate the business through corporations, you must pay, in California, you must pay the minimum $800 business tax to the California Franchise Tax Board, even if you incur the business losses, even if your business incur the losses. However, you must pay the minimum corporation taxes, $800 to the California state. However, Delaware state does not receive any dollar or business taxes. Therefore, a big public corporation, most big public corporations are incorporated or formed in Delaware state. However, most corporations are better served by incorporating in a state where they are headquartered. Capitalization of corporations. The corporations have a lot of options, have wide range of options, and considering corporations is considering how to finance their operations, how to borrow the money. And how to finance their operation, business operations. There are too many options the corporation can adopt. This capitalization may be funded through the debt, funded through the borrowing the money from the bank, or through the selling equity in a variety of forms. Selling equity means the selling of common stock to the public, individual investors in a variety of forms. Okay? There are too many options to fund the corporations. Debt. First type of capitalization is a debt. the corporations often borrow the money from the commercial lender, such as the commercial bank, to fund day-to-day business operations. For the larger projects cases, the corporations may also use more sophisticated forms of debt, such as issuing a bond or issuing a debenture. Okay? By issuing a bond or by issuing a debenture, the corporation can earn a larger capitalizations. Another type of capitalization is equity, selling an equity. Corporations also sell equity to capitalize their business operations. For the modest amount of funding, the corporation may turn to private investors or turn to the group of investors. Equity means my money. Okay? Asset minus liability equal equity. Okay? Net asset, another name of equity is a net asset. In order to sell the common stock equity, the corporation will hire a registered broker dealer to handle larger scale initial public offerings. Public offerings in order to fund the capitalizations. Public offerings is a very, very complex process and very, very time-consuming process, because in order to fund the public finances, it converts the private corporations, it converts the corporations from private corporation to the public corporations by engaging in an initial public offerings through the Security and Exchange Commissions. At that point, the corporation may raise the equity by selling its shares, by selling its common stocks to the general public, or by selling its common stock to the financial institutions. The initial organizational meeting. After the filings of incorporations, the principals typically hold an organizational meeting, initial organizational meeting, where in that initial meeting the principals address such issues. The principal must discuss the following issues, such as bylaws, board of directors, and officers of corporation, and the issuance of common stocks. Bylaw is a rules, internal rules by which the corporation is running, the corporation is doing a business, is a bylaws. Liability. The shareholders, directors, and officers of a corporation are insulated, are shielded, are protected from the personal liability in case, only in case the corporation learns a large debt or corporation suffers some liability. This corporation's liability protection is often referred to as a corporate bail. Corporate bail is a new terminology. Corporate bail. Corporate bail protect the shareholders, protect directors. Corporate bail protect the officers from the creditors. Okay. Personal guarantees. The banks, landlords, and other creditors are fully aware of this limited liability doctrine that is provided by the corporate bail principles. Therefore, if a corporation is a startup business or